Hey YouTube, so coming to y'all barefaced and all, as if I don't already be barefaced. LOL. So I'm making this video just to still be out there, still make content, and honestly definitely explain to y'all like why I'm just not as consistent as I should be. So those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for a minute now, y'all know how long ago I started this thing. I started this thing back in, I want to say 2019 or 2020. And I can't lie, I've been real scarce with my content. Much of that is just fear of failure, fear of just a lot. Depression for certain. And life. Okay, and anybody living to this day can fully understand that last statement. So let me just give y'all like a little rundown of just my consistency and what I'm working on to like stay committed to this, because this really is like my passion, my dream and stuff like that, but I put it on the back burner a lot for school, for work, and when stuff gets real stressful in my life, I definitely just shut down completely. Like, it's a bad habit that I'm definitely trying my best to break out of, and I'm doing really good so far. So yes, just bear with me, y'all. So yeah, this depression. So I'm not gonna give like a full life story. I'm gonna just like pretty much run down to y'all like just what's been holding me back, and I might give little stories, little anecdotes or whatnot, but I'm not gonna like give you no timeline or nothing like that. Not trying to make this video super long, but since I've been young, I've always like been into music. I've always been singing. I love to make people laugh, and I just been this entertainment has just been a part of me my whole life, just being in that space. And when I was younger, I was bold with it. They kept telling me, girl, shut up, we tired of hearing you singing, pretty much. So that's how it was when I was younger. I was very cheerful, I was very happy. This was like, I would say this is like elementary, middle school time, just being my happy-go-lucky self. A lot of things happened. I would say it was kind of a buildup of things, but I would say things really got rocky and it really got hard. My 8th grade year, middle school, my mom had been diagnosed with lupus, and it was just a lot like on me, on the family. For those of you that are not aware, lupus is pretty much like cancer. Okay, and I don't want to speak on the statistics of anything because I'm not aware, but just from where I stand and just even research on lupus, like it's pretty much a lifelong thing for people. So yeah, it was really hard. I'm trying not to say too much here, but I'm gonna just be honest. It really took a toll on my mom, and it took a toll on the rest of the family as well. I mean, just the fact that like you're seeing a loved one going through so much pain is definitely up there. Hold on, let me bring this closer to me. because I just feel like it's making me look, there we go, brighten this up a little bit. Okay. Cause it looks so dark around my face, but the ring light, I'm telling y'all, the ring light is just like right here, and it just looks so dark around my face until I get closer to it. And I'm not trying to be so freaking close. I don't know if that's too bright or whatever. Let me just stick to this. Okay, so yeah, and like, you know, not to get too deep into it, but yeah, it definitely changes a person, and it changes their attitude, and that really like is just one of another huge factor that affected me for sure. But yep, just started going through a lot during that time. And even going into high school was probably the worst years of my life. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Anybody that went to high school with me, they know like Monaria just did not have a good time in high school. She just didn't. I'm just being straight up real with y'all. Like, high school was not good for me. It was honestly because of just the life changes that had happened, and like, you know, partly becoming a caretaker as well. Like, it was just a lot. It was really a lot. And a part of that, you know, is just being in the house all the time, not really being able to get out the house like that, and it really made me depressed. I'm not gonna lie, because I wasn't used to not being around friends, not having friends, you know, and because I was in the house all the time, you know, just with my mom, my family and whatnot, it really did put a huge strain and burden on me and my social life, you know, and I really hated that because it changed me. You know, if you met somebody from that I went to middle school with versus somebody I went to high school with, they would have two totally different things to say about me. And would be very valid, because I did a complete 180 from when I was in elementary school, middle school, to when I got to high school, and that was just because of so much that I was going through. And not to mention, we was also just kind of sheltered and wasn't able to do the same things that other kids were. That's a whole nother thing, whole nother video. I'll probably make another video just going into the deeper dive of just my life or whatever another time. But like I said, I don't want to make this video long. Yeah, and I would say my junior year of high school is when I started to make a change for myself. I had just felt like everything was crumbling down on me. Like, life was just lifing like hell. I was cutting myself. I was just depressed. Like, when I tell y'all, just suicidal left and right. Like, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't. And like I said, junior year was that time, and I don't know what, honestly, God just touched me, because I can't even give y'all what exactly made me turn my life around. I really can't tell y'all. It's just, I definitely felt in me, I was just like, I want to be happy again. I, like, for the longest, I just kept telling myself, like, okay, I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to, you know, experience that joy that I once had. I, like, was that bitch. But when I got to high school, I just wasn't. And it's not like I'm out here like, oh, trying to be that bitch again. I'm forever gonna be that bitch. But but it was just like, you know, I wanted to be myself again. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I just was not me. I was going through a lot. And during that time, and it correct me if I'm wrong, but also during that time it was very weird. It was around that time, you know, the world was going through a lot of changes and shifts, and people just started to not give a fuck about others. That's when like this whole I don't give a fuck and to each his own attitude just kind of begun in the world. And you know, it continued on to this day, and we see how it done manifested itself, honey. And that was another thing that just was bogus to me. But you know, I digress from that. I took my life back junior year, just fighting for my life, y'all. And I was like, you know what, enough is enough.